This equation, actually, I took it from the syllabus. For those of you who've been wondering, the syllabus says nothing about disguised quadratic equations, what, it's actually there. Recognize and solve equations in x which are quadratic in some function of x, e.g. x to the power 4 minus 5x squared plus 4 is equal to 0. Basically, the syllabus is telling you you should be able to recognize and solve disguised quadratic equations or hidden quadratic equations. So this is actually the bullet point that we're looking at in the syllabus here. And this is the example that I took. So we're not going to be solving this because we learned how to solve those in the previous 3 videos, but in this video I'm going to be explaining to you how you can identify that a particular equation is a disguised quadratic equation. Look at the lowest power in that equation. For example, in this equation, the lowest power is 2. If you look at the lowest power, the highest power in that equation should be double the lowest power. For example, in this particular case, the lowest power is 2. The highest power is 4. 4 is double 2. So it's a disguised quadratic equation. And it works for all of them. Believe me, it works for all of them. But keeping in mind that those are the only 2 powers in the equation. Those are the only 2 powers in the equation. So you only have 2 powers in the equation, and the highest power is double that of the lowest power. Let me give you another example of a disguised quadratic equation. Let's say I have x to the power 16 minus 4x to the power 8 plus 3 is equal to 0. This is a disguised quadratic equation. Why? Number one, there are only 2 powers in the equation, x to the power 16 and x to the power 8. There are only 2. Secondly, the highest power, 16 here, is double that of the lowest power, which is 8. If you take 8 and then you double that 8, you're going to get 16. Okay? If you take 8 and then double that 8, you're going to get 16. So this is the disguised quadratic equation. There are only 2 powers in the equation, and the lowest power is half the highest power, or the highest power is double the lowest power. Let's look at another one. This is kind of fun. Okay. B to the power 2 over 6 minus b to the power 1 over 6 plus 3 is equal to 0. This is a disguised quadratic equation. Only 2 powers in the equation, b to the power 2 over 6 and b to the power 1 over 6, and the highest power, the 2 over 6, is double the lowest power. 1 over 6 multiplied by 2 gives you 2 over 6. So that does work. That does work. They can actually trick you a bit here. You know, if they want to, they could have written this, for example, as b to the power 1 over 3 minus b to the power 1 over 6 plus 3 is equal to 0. You wouldn't really realize that this is disguised, right? Because, well, you can't see from the get-go that this power is double that power. But, you know, just go to your calculator, say 1 over 6 multiplied by 2, you would get 1 over 3, and you would confirm that this is a disguised quadratic equation. Let's look at another one. 8y to the power 24 plus 6y to the power 12 minus 8 is equal to 0. This is another disguised quadratic equation. You only have 2 powers, y to the power 24 and y to the power 12, and your highest power, 24, is double your lowest power. 12, double that, you get 24. So that's another disguised quadratic equation. So basically that's it, guys. That is how you identify whether a particular equation is a disguised quadratic equation or not. Now, for those of you who are a bit quick and fast and you know you really love maths, I will show you a second method on solving disguised quadratic equations, which is extremely quick. You don't have to say, let x squared equal to a, let x to the power 8 equal to something else. You solve them directly. I will show you that method. This is the method that I personally use when I solve disguised quadratic equations. I don't like the whole process of, saying let y to the power 12 equal to c and then doing it the long way. It takes time. With this method, you are able to do this within a few lines and you'll be done. But again, not everyone may be able to follow this method and understand this method, but if you can and you're sure you can do it this way, then watch out for my next video, because I will be showing you the alternative method on solving disguised quadratic equations, and I will only do 1 or 2 examples. So until next time, thank you.